So the traditional school of email marketing teaches you get a prospect into the funnel and then you nurture them every day. You bombard them with emails, sequential emails, all kind of emails. While that may be true for 2010, 2015, but in today's day and age, you want to land into the inbox because today quality over quantity, quality matters. But this guy is running a business. They're called Zero Bounce. They allow your emails not to bounce. Good to have you, Brian. How's it going?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here today, and thanks everyone for joining us all around the world. I'm based here in Boca Raton, Florida in the US, and I really look forward to sharing some of the insight and the good learnings that we've seen through our customer base and helping people out today.
Cool. For those of us at the back, tell me, how isn't email marketing dead in 2023? How is it still alive? Is it still alive?
It's alive, well, and I would say stronger than ever. And so I've heard this for decades now. I feel like even 10 years ago, email is dead. Email is going to be dead. Yeah, right. I mean, come on, guys. We all know this is the other tech companies trying to push their way through and shut down email, which is the most cost-effective way to do your marketing. It is proven. Email marketing is far from dead. I would say really, really picking up, even with the pandemic, has helped a ton of people getting into email marketing. Because they lost lots of ways to attract customers without it.
Okay. But did email marketing as an industry not suffer a blow? Because most of us are sitting on Gmail and G Suite. And I think there's a promotions tab that appeared sometime back. And I do see a whole lot of, emails from very big brands. It's not like, the Tom, Dick and Harry's are landing there. Everyone, even the major brands are landing in the promotions box, sometimes in spam. So aren't people suffering? Hasn't the industry suffered a serious blow in the recent past?
So if we're talking about just G Suite on the promotions tab, also all the people are also starting to look there. And so it is a place where people do look, not everybody. And so it is not the ideal place, but it is much better than spam. I will say that. And so for G Suite users or Gmail users, that's not the whole world. And so, no, I don't think that's impacted every single person and every single business. But what I'm seeing is smarter ways to do your email marketing and smarter ways to get your message to the right person, to the right audience. And so it's what I think it's actually done is created more work for us email marketers because we have to be smarter, we have to be more thoughtful, and we have to have better and direct intent in what we're doing.
Interesting. Now tell me, why do emails land in spam? Like what are certain factors that, land your email in spam? Why does that happen?
Sure. So there's many reasons. It's very hard to talk about every single one, but some of the obvious ones that most likely everyone is aware of are the bad content, lots of images, using a lot of keywords that are spam triggered keywords such as free, and invoices, and there's lots of weird words that trigger spam filters. That's kind of the basic side that I'm not going to get too deep in today because I really do think for the most part email marketers generally understand this. So we won't talk about that. But the other side of it, which I don't think a lot of people are thinking about, is when you send a bunch of mail and you're getting especially a lot of hard bounces or you're getting people marking you as spam, that is really detrimental to your marketing campaign. And it might not hurt you right in the moment. It's going to hurt you on the long term.
Hold on. What is a hard bounce? What is a soft bounce?
Yeah, sure. Good. So a hard bounce means you attempted to send a piece of mail to a mail server, and the mail server either says, nope, this inbox does not exist, this account does not exist, or maybe the domain is shut down, it used to be in business and now it is not, and now it's shut down. So the message will bounce. It will come back with a status code of 502, something of this nature, saying that, or 511, that the email has bounced and it could not be delivered. That is a hard bounce. That is bad for your reputation because you shouldn't really be sending emails to people that can't deliver mail. And that is the way that the mail servers expect you to react. And a soft bounce might be something a little bit more of a gentler reason why you did not get the message delivered, such as the mailbox is full, right? So the email is real. You tried to send mail, the mailbox is full, it's not accepting mail, and it will soft bounce. Those are not great for you as well, but they don't hurt your sending reputation. It's the hard bounces that hurt your sending reputation. So that's the difference between a hard bounce and a soft bounce.
And these are different from spam. Spam is your email getting delivered, but not in the inbox. So these are where your email is completely bouncing.
Yes. So it never made it to the recipient. is if you want to look at it that way. Hard bounce and a soft bounce never made it to the recipient.
There are certain obvious things that land you in spam, like invoice, and I've left you, $1 million in my grandmother's account and shit. So that obviously goes into spam. What else? What are some of the mistakes that reputed brands are making that are landing them in spam? What are some unobvious mistakes that people are making that are landing them in spam?
So we're working with huge brands as part of our organization, and we're working all around the world. And so the problems that I'm seeing and the reason they're either hitting the spam folder is, one, they're sending to a database that they've been sending for years, and they've never checked the authenticity of the data points in their database. So they've never checked to see if that email address is still good. And in a world today where people are moving jobs and things are changing all over the place, we can't just rely on, well, they submitted it 10 years ago, so it must still be good today. And that's one big reason. And another one also is they are, the people they are emailing, they didn't have it in a good cadence. They weren't doing regular emailing, things of this nature, and the content wasn't really applicable for them. And what was happening is they're marking them as spam. So they are receiving the email, but then they're marking them as spam. And then that can get you put onto a blacklist, which then can get you into bigger problems when it comes to the whole audience of sending. So we can talk a little bit about that as well, if that's helpful. But people are generally not aware that there's blacklists for senders, and that you have a reputation as a sender. And that reputation is very, very, very important to how the mail servers see you when your piece of mail arrives. The G Suite and Gmail might, if they see you as a good sender, that's very good. You're going to get into a better, you have good reputation. But if you're on a blacklist, every piece of email you send to any Gmail account, business or non-business, will go to the spam folder automatically. Even the largest companies in the world, and I'm talking the largest, have this problem.
Who maintains the sending reputation? Is it the Google, G Suite, Outlook?
Yeah, you can monitor it. There's like Postmaster tools that people can set up, and other things where it's monitoring your sending reputation based on people marking you as spam, and the different filters. They're giving feedback loops. So the mail servers across the world, G Suite, all these mail servers, they essentially create feedback loops to the sender. And the sender says, hey, this is a known abuser. These people are marking you as spam. And they're expecting you to do something with that. And the thing is, most people are not set up to actually check that and pay attention to it. So you do want to have something like Postmaster, or you want to have some Postmaster tools that are able to show you the feedback that you're getting from your customers. So when you're emailing and people are marking you as spam, this is something you need to know, and you need to know who is doing that. And you want to make sure you don't continue to email them, because they're hurting you. They're not helping. So that's why we constantly have to preach it. At Zero Bounce, we actually remove people from your database. If I can simplify it down, we will remove people because the email won't be delivered, or they're bad actors, or they're risky for you as a sender. And so it's a difficult conversation we always have. Hey, I realize you have a lot of email, but a lot of them are not good. And if you trim that down to a smaller set, you can have better campaign results by having better deliverability getting into the inbox.
Interesting. So what are some of the things, apart from using Zero Bounce, what are the things that people can use or do in-house to not, commit a mistake that lands them a low reputation score? Sender's reputation is what you spoke about, low reputation score.
Yep.
And I'm assuming high deliverability is a consequence of high sender's reputation, right? So if you don't go low, you go high. And when you go high, your deliverability is high. So what are some things that come to your mind? What are some obvious things that, let's say a freelance marketer could, do it by himself?
Yeah. So one of the things, there's a few things I would recommend. And one of them obviously is monitoring that I've kind of mentioned, Postmaster tools, but we already talked about that. The other one would be blacklist checking and blacklist monitoring. So you want to make sure you're not on blacklist. I highly recommend a automated service for this, which is constantly checking to see if you are on a blacklist. And another thing is you absolutely want to be monitoring your inbox placement, and you can do that before you ever hit send on your campaign. So that's another really big piece that, again, adds a step, but it can really change the outcome and performance.
How do you do that? How do you monitor your inbox?
So zero bounce, we have an inbox placement tester tool. And again, there's lots out here, so it's not just about zero bounce, but we have an inbox placement tester tool, and we give you 20 seed accounts on the major and popular providers like Gmail, AOL, Yahoo, and you send a test email to us. So you send your campaign, but you send it to our specific emails. And then we go ahead and give you a result back that says, hey, this landed into the inbox, or this landed into the spam folder, or it was blocked. And so you take that information and you can fine tune your campaign and send us another one. So if it landed in spam on G Suite, on Gmail, you might want to go and look to see why. Maybe it's an image. Maybe it's too many images. Shortened URLs are a big no-no right now. The bit.ly, those type of links are not, they're frowned upon because they really, even the email servers can't see that relay. And so, something just as simple as that, you might change just the link, and that might put you into the inbox, and then you send your campaign.
Got it. So first is Postmaster that allow you to check your current reputation. The second one is Blacklist checker. You can figure out, hey, if I'm, if my domain's already screwed pretty much. You can check your inbox placement. For that, you need tools like Zero Bounce. Give me a couple more. These are 3 points. Can we do anything else?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the other ways that you can make sure you get into kind of the inbox is to do segmentation. I highly recommend that as well. We can go into detail there.
Segmentation as in create different cohorts of people you're sending it to so that it's relevant?
Yeah. So there's many ways to do segmentation. And what I have learned is that just by nature, we're a little lazy and we just want to send to everybody, right? Yeah. And we have to take a step back and say, was that really relevant? And I'll give you an example for myself. I buy clothes from a certain place. I'm a tall guy. It's hard for me to find clothes. And so I'm constantly getting ads through email for women's clothing of the same store. And I'm just like, I shake my head. I've actually replied and said, hey guys, think about this here. Why aren't you sending women's clothing to a man? So we have to segment. We have to do things kind of the right way. You have to think as your customer. So too many email marketers are thinking as a business owner, or thinking as a sales manager, or thinking as a marketing manager, which makes sense, but you have to couple that with a customer thought and a customer thought process. We also get a lot of questions because we have customers that have no idea who's on their database. They may have acquired a company, for example, or they may have purchased a list, which I highly frown upon, but it does happen quite a bit. You have to take that list and have to break it down. And so when you look at these type of things, you want to send to your highest engaging people first. These are the people who are clicking, they're opening. When you send it to only your engaging people as a segment, and they keep opening, they keep clicking, and then they click through and things of this nature, the mail servers go, wow, look at this guy. Everybody wants his mail. And so your sending reputation goes up, right? Then you can work your way down the list for who engages less. And because of the good reputation you've established prior, these emails are now more likely to go into the inbox because the mail servers are used to seeing you and they say, hey, there's usually good engagement.
So it's almost like a social media algorithm where your inbox has become your feed, and they're actually keeping score on, hey, have you clicked on this email? How many buttons did you click inside? So it's almost like, the Instagram algorithm where it tracks how much engagement you're getting. And if you are creating engaging content, it's going to show rest of your content to other people as well. Wow. Okay. That's new. We never thought about email that way.
Yeah. And how you put it actually is really interesting. I really like it. Yeah. Where it's kind of like an algorithm and a feed in a sense of what do you actually want to see? Right. And one thing which is interesting too is everyone's always said, oh, receipts. I always get receipts in my inbox. Well, why? Yeah. It's not marketing. It's informative. You almost always open them. Right. And you never would click as spam. Right. And you would never unsubscribe. Right. So they build actually reputation through even transactional emails and use that to help boost their reputation for marketing.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else that you think would be helpful?
Yeah. One more tip I would like to say is just to also remove non-engager or create that as a now segmented piece. And so if you have been somebody who's been emailing, every Wednesday, 2 p.m., 10 a.m., right? Whatever it is. And you always have a segmented part where they never engage with your email. They never open. What I would recommend is after 6 months, 12 months, take that and find those people, move them to their own list, and then what's called something like a breakup campaign. And it's something like, hey, I'm sorry, what did we do wrong? Or did you really mean to be on my list? I see you never, and click here to stay on it. This is then going to tell you who in that list is real. And you can go ahead and what you want to do is remove non-engagers because they're not helping you. So it's a tip that I would say for people who have really old lists and haven't been really massaging them or working through them and looking through the details to consider segmenting them and putting them into their own campaign and seeing if you can do something to re-engage them.
Okay, I got that part. Now my question to you is, do these things only avoid spam, or they also help you avoid promotions folder as well? Like, does a very high sender's reputation land you into the primary?
So some of it depends upon what you're sending. So
Okay.
if we're purely talking about, an advertisement type email or a grid of new clothes and a new product line that you've put out, it might be challenging to get out of promotions and into inbox. However, it should help you. The biggest problem is actually not getting delivered in the first place. And so we want to make sure we solve that. And then if you're in promotions is better than spam, like a million times better than spam. But then we want to try to work you from promotions into the inbox. And sometimes that's just changing words. And sometimes it's the engagement and the reputation that helps as well, because they really do feel people want their email. So they want to make sure you see it.
So engagement plus reputation can help you get there. What are the words that you're talking about? Give us a few examples.
Well, when you say promotions, it's just the word promotion. Everything around that generally wants to filter people towards,
like
it's a filter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sales and flash sales and hot buy, free or free estimates.
Got it.
They're promotions. And so they're putting the mail in the right place. If you take off your marketer hat, put on your consumer hat, they put it in the right place, right? They did their job, and that's how they think. They're thinking as consumers. They're not thinking as mail managers and marketing managers.
Of course.
So take your marketing manager hat off for a second and try to think like a consumer and see if you can get the email to ship.
So the product's working fine.
I mean, yeah, I'm a fan of, the system's working properly for their customers. That's their job. That's their duty. And so they're going to continue to always push that way. And us as email marketers and in the marketing industry, we have to recognize and attack the way that we want to ultimately get to. And we have to just find smart ways to beat out competition. That's what marketing is always about, right? Beating out your competition.
So one last question, Brian, before we, call it a session. Accelerated mobile pages. That's what Google launched some time back. Websites that would open very quickly on Google search results. Now, there are, AMP emails. AMP is plugged into emails. You can put dynamic content. You can do a lot of things. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on AMP email?
I love it.
Why?
I think it's challenging. So yes, I love it because it really helps with that engagement rate and it helps with that open rate. If someone opens your email and then they see like a nice carousel of products, or they're even seeing feedback forms. So those are things that I'm seeing. Like we did that for a while. We solicited reviews and we actually let them do the whole review in the email. And all they had to do was hit submit and then it posted all that information. You're creating engagement. You're telling your customer is telling the mail server that this is a great piece of content.
Got it. So AMP emails are one way to up your sender's reputation because it's a real social media feed on your email. You can scroll through, you can play with it, spin the wheel. I think that should be a wrap. We were here for half an hour. That's time for us. Thank you so much, Brian. This was fun.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Awesome. This was episode 1 of season 2 of the Growth Chat by Mailmodo. Lovely guys. That's a wrap. See you. Bye-bye.